All right, now it's 8:05 a.m. So we will start on time as I promised. So let's start with chapter 1. So if let's say you can see my screen, please type yes, or you can open your mic, say yes.
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 Okay, good. So we will try to make it fast. So I will try to finish within 40 minutes. Okay, because your slide is quite straightforward. Okay, so chapter 1, you will study about strategic management and also strategic competitiveness. So you will learn a lot of theory and also the definition here in chapter 1.
Okay.
Okay, so this will be your learning outcome for this chapter. Wait, let me admit someone. Okay, so after this chapter, right, you should be able to know these things. So define this term, forget the definition, cannot run away. And describe the competitive landscape and also how globalization and technological change the shape of it. And we will study about IO model and also resource-based model later. And also describe the characteristic of vision and mission and also their values. And also you need to define what is the meaning of stakeholder and describe their influence towards the organization. And also describe the role of strategy leaders. So since you don't cover strategy leaders chapter, I will just touch it brief for this part. And also explain the strategy management process. So these are the learning outcomes that you will learn today. So in the 21st century competition, so these things are shaping the today's competitive market. So consists of global economy. Okay, like for instance, for those of you who taken my IB or you taken your IB in diploma, so you should be able to know this. Okay, international business in short, and globalization. This one is also part of the IB as well. And also rapid technological change because the technology change so fast, especially now, okay, during the pandemic of COVID-19, even change faster. And also increase the importance of knowledge and also the use of people, the use of talent. Okay, now we come to the key definition. So definition you cannot run away, but you can modify some of the wording without changing its meaning. Okay, for your information, right, for this time midterm, as long as we are doing online, you cannot copy and paste everything. Okay, you need to modify some of the wording. If let's say you copy and paste everything, right, you cannot get full marks. The most will be half. For example, if let's say this question will ask you 2 marks. So if let's say you copy and paste everything, only 1 mark. Okay, because we don't see you as to modify the words and to change it. If let's say face-to-face exam, right, you write essay the same, no problem. But because of the mechanism, right, different mechanism used by KL side for online midterm, so we will slightly adjust a bit the marking. Okay, so just to let you know.
Okay.
Okay. So this will be the meaning of strategy management. So the art and science of formulate and also implement and also to evaluate the cross-functional decision. Cross-functional means like HR, marketing, and so on. So these are cross-functional decision. So that enable the organization to achieve the objective. So it can be focuses on integrating management, marketing, finance, accounting, and so on. So you basically merge every department or merge every single functional decision maker. Right? So if let's say the exam asks you this one, strategy management, 3 marks, right? So meaning that you need to write 3 sentences. Okay, so meaning that in this one, right, you only have 2 sentences, right? So the other 1 sentence, right, as long as it is relevant to strategy management, the marks will be awarded. Okay, remember your midterm, right? Especially for the question that asks you definition, if let's say this one strategy management asks you and then 3 marks, so you cannot just write down 2 sentences. If let's say you write down 2 sentences, only maximum 2 marks. No matter how good is your definition written. Okay.
Okay.
So the next one will be strategy. Okay, so what is the meaning of strategy? Will be integrated and coordinated set of commitment and also action designed to exploit, means make use of core competency and also to gain competitive advantage. Okay? So these two are the keywords. Okay? And these two also integrated and coordinated. So when choosing a strategy, right? So the firm, right, make the choices. Wait, let me admit someone. Among the competitive alternatives. So in this case, right, so the chosen strategy, right, will normally indicate that what the firm needs to do and what the firm not to do. Okay. So what are the things that you should do? What are the things that you should avoid? In short. And also we have competitive advantage. In Chinese means 竞争优势. Okay. So when it implements a strategy, competitors are able to duplicate or find too costly to try to copy. Okay, this imitate means copy. Okay. So this one we will learn in detail in chapter 3. Okay, about the internal environment.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So next one we will come to the risk. So risk in Chinese means 风险, but I know you know what is the meaning of Chinese, but you need to write down in English form. Okay. So every single business, right, or every investment, right, sure have the risk. If let's say when you run a business and also go for investment, right, you have zero risk, right? I will say there is high chance you get life, or either you get life or it will be the money game. Okay. So the meaning will be an investor uncertainty, 不确定性, this one. So about the economic gains or loss that will result from a particular investment. Okay. So 有投资有风险 in Chinese, this is that what it means. Okay. Because you are dealing with uncertainty, you cannot predict the future. Okay. So that's why you need to tidy out your emotion, okay, for investment. So this why will be the returns are often measured in terms of accounting figure. Okay, so this one I think accounting student know better than me, huh? So like ROA, ROE, ROS, and so on. Okay, so these are some of them, but not limited to this term. Okay. We also have PE ratio, price to equity ratio, and so on. Okay. And also net total asset. These are the things that you need to evaluate before you invest. So alternatively, right, so return can be also measured on the basis of stock market return. So how much your capital gain or dividend gain. Okay. And also such as money return. So end of the period stock price minus the beginning stock price, meaning that let's say I buy for example, Asia. If let's say I buy it for 1 ringgit and then now will be 2 ringgit, so you will gain double, okay, the profit. And also divide by the beginning stock price using a percentage return. So we come to strategic competitiveness. So it will be the formulation and implementation of a superior value creating strategy. And then you come up with the commitment and action. Okay. To achieve the above average performance and return. Later on, we will come to this one about average return. And this one tell you what you need to do as a firm and what you should avoid as a firm. And then try to achieve competitive advantage. Okay, so competitive advantage will be, in other words, will be sustainable advantage. So consists of VRIN, which we will learn in detail in chapter 3.
Okay.
Okay, good. So more key definition to go. Okay, for strategy management, definition I would say cannot run away. Okay, you must remember the keywords. So average return, so meaning that the returns are equal to those investor expect to earn for other investors with a similar amount of risk. So in the long run, right, an inability to earn at least average return will result in the failure in the business. So meaning that in the long run, right, you must make sure 你的成本等于你的利润 at least at least. Okay, meaning your cost is equal to profit, at least for long term. If let's say you are failure to do so, right? So you will hard to sustain in business. Okay, so failure occurs because investor withdraw their investment from those firms earning less than average return. So this will be some of the example. Okay, so just now is the average return, right? So now we will cover about average return. So in the goal of strategic management and also the business, right? Definitely your aim, right, will be about average return, meaning more than just average return, right? More than just average return. So will be the return in excess of what an investor expect to earn for other investors with a similar amount of fees. Definitely as a director, right, or as a manager, so you definitely want to earn more, right? Not just only your cost equal to profit only. Okay. So if let's say the exam asks you about average return, right? If let's say ask you 2 marks or 3 marks, meaning that you need to write down at least 2 or 3 sentences. Okay. So and as long as the other elaboration are relevant, marks will be given. Okay. Remember the definition, right? Cannot run away the keywords, but you can change some wording. Okay. So for more information, right, you can always go to ebook. Okay. So strategy management process. So this one refers to the full set of commitment and also full set of decision and also your action. Okay, required for a firm to achieve the strategic competitiveness, 战略竞争优势. Okay, and also to earn about average return.
Okay.
Okay, so this will be the strategy management process for this syllabus, but anyway, you will not study about chapter 9 onwards. Okay, chapter 9 until 13, we are not covering because not in part of our syllabus this semester. So we will just cover until chapter 8. Okay, chapter 1 until chapter 8. So now we'll come to the global competitive landscape. So these are increasing trend and these are the decreasing. Okay, so we come to decreasing first. So traditional time for identity to change is decreasing. And also traditional source of competitive advantage also decreasing. Okay. For those of you who already taken my IP, this will be more dealing with the reverse innovation. Okay. And also traditional manager mindset. So the trends that are increasing are market volatility and also instability due to the rapid pace of change in market. Okay, meaning that the 步伐越来越快 and also the 竞争 okay, is getting fierce, getting brutal. And also blurring of market boundaries and also globalized flow of financial capital and also the need for flexibility and also the speed, innovation and integration in the use of technology. Okay, because of the first one, okay, market volatility and also uncertainty. We are dealing with uncertainty more. And also strategy and operational complexity of global scale competition and also rising product quality standard. Okay, the quality standard is keep getting more severe, okay, more serious. Okay, for example, right, I just use an example. Let's say you have read the news about Top Golf, right? So you will know the Top Golf, they have their products detained in the US border. This one I will leave it to you to read the news. Okay. Okay, the reason why they detain will be the use of labor unethically. Okay, you try to find the reason behind. So the next one will be hyper competition. Okay, for those of marketing students who already taken my strategy information system management, so I believe that you already learned this one. Hyper competition and also the D-Avenue7S. Okay, hopefully you still remember for those of you who already taken here. Okay, so strategy option in hyper competitive environment. So global economy and also technology shaping this one. So under this one will be the use of price quality position to build the market presence, and also to create a new know-how and also use of first mover advantage. This one we will study in chapter 5. This one, first mover, second mover, and also lag mover. And also protection of invasion of established geography or product market.
Okay.
So next we will come to the success factor of the competitiveness. So normally they have entrepreneur or opportunistic mindset, right? And also are market and customer needs oriented, and also make effective use of variable complexity. Okay? Under the V, VIM framework, this will be the V, okay? Variable. And also offer new and innovative products and services. So now we'll come to the technology and technological changes. So technology trend, right, will impact the global competitive environment, especially nowadays. Okay, because increasing rate of technology diffusion, right, and also the emergence of disruptive technology. Just like in the past, right, we only had the taxi, or let's say we want to book taxi, right, we need to call the taxi driver, right? But nowadays, right, we just use Uber or Grab. You just open the app and then you book the taxi, that's all. Okay. And also in the past, right, let's say you go for vacation, right, you need to directly call to the hotel and also to book the room. But nowadays, right, you can just go to Agoda or even go to the Airbnb. Okay, just book online. So these are the things that disrupt the business model, the traditional business model. And also the information edge. So internet and also global proliferation of low-cost computing power. So we are more focusing on the energy saving, okay? Energy stuff. And also increasing knowledge intensity as an intangible source of competitive advantage. So these are the three trends, example. Okay, so now we will come to the definition part again. So we come to the strategic flexibility. Okay, so this one normally involves coping with the uncertainty and also the risk, right, of the hyper-competitive environment. So in order to achieve this strategic flexibility, right, so first you must overcome the build-up organization inertia. This one is 动力. Okay. And also requires the developing the capacity for continuous learning and applying the new and outdated skill set. Okay. Just like for example, let's say you are entering to the workforce, right? So you need to keep update your skill from time to time. Okay, because the technological change and also the competitive behavior. Okay? And also comparison to the first competitive advantage. So what we are doing here will be you need to learn from time to time, okay, for this third sentence.
Okay.
Okay, so we will come to the IO model of above average return. So how we are going to use this model in achieving this one. Okay. So depends on the firm strategy choices. So example will be economies of scale. Barriers to market entry, is it easy or hard? Let's say hard, right, will be better. Let's say easy will be the worst, because other competitors can even easily enter and also to compete with you. And diversification. So make sure the diversification wise, right, will be moderate. Don't be too less, don't be too more. Okay. And product differentiation, and also industry concentration and also market friction. Okay. So what are the target you are aiming for? Okay, so this will be the overall IO model in earning the above average return. So we need to evaluate the external environment. So this one we will learn in next chapter, next week Monday. So external environment. So these are the examples. So you need to evaluate the general environment. Okay, and also the industry environment and competitor environment who are competing with you in the similar industry. And then you need to try to find the attractive industry. Okay, of course you don't find the unattractive industry. Okay? Just like let's say you want to run the business one, right? So you want to run a newspaper firm. I would say it's not quite attractive because you have so many competitors. And also nowadays, right, when people read the news, right, they will go to social media to read the news instead. Anyway, that is save a lot of time. Right? Instant news and also environmental friendly. You don't need to print the hard copy. Okay? And also you need to come up with a strategy formulation. Okay? Formulate the strategy to earn above average return. So this will be the ultimate goal, okay? Above average return. So you will see a lot of this term in this module. And also you need to combine with the asset and skill. Okay? Asset and skill. So required to implement a chosen strategy. So you need to make good use of resource and also the human capital. Okay? And then you implement the strategy. So you need to select the strategy action link with effective implementation of the chosen strategy, and your superior ultimate goal always about average return. Okay, remember in this module.
Okay.
So under this IO model assumption, so these are the 4 assumptions under the IO model. Assumption means 假设. Okay, so for those of you who don't know the meaning, you can jot down. So the external environment imposes the pressure and also the constraint, 局限, okay, this one, that determine the strategy choice. And also similarity in strategically relevant resource, right, cause the competitor to pursue similar strategy. Okay, meaning that similar firm, I will tend to use the similar strategy normally. And also resource difference, right, among the competitors are short-lived due to the resource mobility across the firm. For example, human resource. Okay, because human resource are mobile. Okay, they can switch from one firm to another firm. Okay? Unless you can retain the talent. Okay? Unless you can retain the talent effectively. So it will be long-lived, not short-lived. So number 4 will be strategy decision maker are rational and also engage in profit maximizing behavior. So the main aim to run the business is to maximize profit. Okay? So this will be the behavior. Okay, so now we will try to cover the 5 forces model of competition. Anyway, this one we'll learn in depth in chapter 4 about the business level strategy. Okay, so I will just touch in brief. So these are the 5. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so under the assumption under the 5 forces model, I believe that you also learn about 5 forces model in other module. Okay, especially fundamentals of marketing in it. Also, let's say not mistaken. Okay. So industry profitability. So for example, our return. Okay. So it's a function of interaction among the 5 forces. So whether the industry is attractive or not, so equates to its probability potential for earning above average return by using these 2. Okay. So either you use the cost leadership strategy or differentiation strategy. So this one we'll learn in detail in chapter 4. Okay. We will just touch and go for the time being. Okay. But chapter 4 you will learn in depth. Okay. So either you standardize a good or service at cost below the competitor cost, for example, Asia, and also to try to come up with differentiated good or service for which customers are willing to pay a price premium, just like Starbucks. Okay, so now we come to the another model will be resource-based model, RBM, in achieving above average return. So other this model, right, so they focus on these 3, right? Resource capability and core competency. So resource will be in terms of physical or human, and also organization capital. And then is it capable or not to utilize the resource? So integrated set of resource. So this one is more dealing with talent, okay? And also management. And then these 2 combined together, right? These 2 combined together will achieve this core competency. Okay? 核心竞争优势. Okay? So will be the source of competitive advantage.
Okay.
Okay, so this will be the 4 assumptions under the RBM. Okay, so firms acquire different resource and also firms develop unique capability. Okay, the one that cannot be copied easily by the other rivals or competitors. So based on how they combine and also use the resource. And resource and certain capability, right, are not highly mobile across the firm. And also differences in resource, right, and also capability are the basis of competitive advantage. And also a firm's performance rather than only industry structural characteristic. Okay, so these are the 4 essential under the RBM. Okay, so this will be the core competency element. So we will cover in depth in chapter 3, but anyway, we'll just touch in brief. So B, this one, V, you just remember VRIN, V, R, this one R, and then this one I, then this one N. This will be VRIN framework. Okay. For now, we will just touch in brief. Anyway, we will still covering this thing on chapter 3.
Okay.
So what is the meaning of core competency? So I believe that you know how to translate in Chinese, but in the exam, right, you need to write in English. Okay. 核心竞争 this one. Okay. So will be the resource and capability, right? They serve as a source of competitive advantage for a firm over its rival. And then core competency, right, often visible in the form of organizational function. Okay, let's say the exam asks you 3 marks, right? Make sure you write 3 sentences. Okay, don't like this one. Core competency is the resource until the rivals and then comma, and then it is all not visible until full stop. Only 1 sentence, right? 1 mark. Okay, because you comma so much. Okay, so don't try this one in your written. Okay, so 3 marks means 3 complete sentences. Okay.
Okay.
And also capability means 你的能力. Okay. So capability of the set of resource to perform a task or activity in an integrated manner, combined manner. Okay. So capability evolve over time, 进化. Okay. And also must be matched dynamically in pursuit to achieve this above average return. Okay. So remember, in strategy management, we will use this term a lot, above average return. Okay, so this will be the RBM model in achieving above average return. So basically, they combine this resource and capability. Okay, so for the resource wise, right, they will evaluate the strength and weakness will be the internal, okay, internal environment. So compared with those of competitors. Okay. And now we will come to the capability. So determine the firm's capability. What do the capability allow the firm to do better than the competitors? And then combine these two to achieve competitive advantage. Okay, so I need to determine the potential of the firm's resource and also capability in terms of competitive advantage. And then after this 3 steps, right? So you need to find attractive industry. So of course you need to find attractive industry, okay, not the unattractive one. So this one we will study in chapter 2. And then you come up with the strategy formulation and implementation, and then your ultimate goal always this one, okay, above average return. Okay, as I say, you will see this term a lot. So now we'll come to the strategy decision making. Okay, either you use IO model or RB or RBM. Okay. Okay, now we come to the next part. Okay, will be the vision statement. So these are the characteristics of a successful vision. Okay, so there are 6 of them. Right? I want you to remember at least 3 or 4 of them. At least, okay? Not need all, but at least 3 of them. Okay? So it's the enduring work picture of what the firm wants to be and also expect to achieve in the future. And also normally stretch and challenge the people. Okay. Because if let's say don't challenge people, right, the people will just like staying stagnant. In Chinese means 太安逸. Okay, if let's say too stagnant, right, one day you will be faced up by your competitors. And also reflects the firm's value and aspiration. And also it's most effective when they will include the stakeholder for all. And recognize the firm internal and external competitive environment. Okay, will be chapter 2 and 3. And also is normally supported by the output measure decision and action. So these are the characteristics of a successful vision. Okay, now we'll come to the mission statement. So effective mission, right? The characteristics are specify the business or business in which the firm intends to compete. And also customer intends to serve or tends to target. So has a more concrete near-term focus on current product market and also the customer than the firm's vision. And also should be inspiring, 激发, right? And relevant to all stakeholders.
Okay.
Okay, so now we'll come to the next part, stakeholder, meaning that people involved in the project, right, in the organization. So these are the primary stakeholders, will be either individual or group or organization. So their role will be, this will be their role as a stakeholder. So can affect the level of the firm's mission and vision. And also are affected by the strategic outcome achieved by the firm. And also stakeholder, right, can have the enforceable claim on the firm's performance. Okay? Because you're involved in the project, right? So you can always query about the firm's performance currently. And also are influential when in control of critical or value resource. So these are the three classification of stakeholder. Will be, okay, I will use the next slide. Will be the capital market stakeholder, for example, with shareholder or major supplier of capital, for example, bank or financial institution. And the second one will be product market stakeholder, will be either primary customer, supplier, or host committee and union. Okay, will be 组织. And the third one will be organizational stakeholder, will be in terms of manager, non-manager, and employees. So this will be the correct definition for the stakeholder. But make sure you need to just the wording. Don't copy and paste. If let's say copy and paste, you can, but you cannot get full marks. Okay. So people who are affected by the first performance and also will have claims on its performance. So we come to the capital market stakeholder. So will be the conflicting expectation of the shareholder and lender. Okay. So normally, let's say their views are different, right? So there will be a conflict. So in terms of risk or return, okay, differences in risk and return, and also enhance wealth, and also different influence power, and also the goal in preservation of investment. Okay? Because some of the shareholders, right, they are quite not so risk taking, right? The people low risk, but then let's say the organization tends to go for high risk, so there will be a conflict. And the second one will be product market stakeholders. So will be this four. Okay, this one I will just skip because it's similar to slide number 32. Okay, similar. And organizational stakeholder. So will be responsible or strategy leader for development and also effective use of the firm's human capital and also human talent. Okay. So these are the things that you can do. So education and also skill or employee upskilling. And also organization culture and also ethical work environment. Okay, so for example, CSR. And strategic goals and global standard and international assignment will be expatriate. Okay, 外籍人士. Okay, so next we will come to the work of effective strategy leaders. So what are the characteristics of a strategy leader? So we'll be having a strong strategy orientation that relies on thorough analysis when taking the action. And also are located at various levels throughout the firm. And also want the firm is people to accomplish more inspire people. And also are innovative thinkers to promote the innovation in the workplace or innovation behavior. Okay? And also can leverage, means make use of a relationship with the external party while simultaneously means at the same time promoting the exploratory learning. And also have a global mindset approach to manage the firm.
Okay.
Okay. So basically the outcomes for strategy decision so will be profit pool. So what is the meaning of profit pool? Will be entails the total profit. Okay? Means you consider total profit earned in the industry at all points along the value chain. Okay? So profit pool, right, helps the firm see what others do not see and also to understand the primary source of profit in the industry. So what will be the main source that you gain the revenue or profit? Okay? So these are the steps in identify the profit pools in sequence. Okay, let's say we ask you this one. So you need to write in sequence. Let's say the step number 1 wrong, right? Even though your step number 2 and 4 all correct, still 0 mark. Okay, just to let you know. Okay, meaning that let's say step number 1 to 3, right, correct, but step number 4 wrong, right? Okay, you still get 3 marks. Okay, meaning that step number 1, right, let's say wrong, then 0, straight 0. Okay, the rest even though correct, right, 0. Okay, so it's quite risky. So make sure you know the step well. Okay. So number 1 will be define the pool's boundary, and number 2 will be you estimate the pool's oversight, and then after that you estimate the size of the pool's value chain, and then you finalize the calculation. You consider the calculation. Okay, make sure the step you get correct. Okay, reminder.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that's all for chapter 1. It's quite fast. Okay, so as I promised, I will finish within 45 minutes. So now it's only 40 minutes, around 40 minutes. So we already finish about chapter 1. So we will cover until this chapter, international strategy. So I will say chapter 8, right, is very similar to IP. Okay, very similar to IP. Okay, okay, a moment. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So
Yes.
this will be the ebook. So you can download in the Google Classroom. So this will be the latest one. Quite nice. So you can always to refer to this ebook. So you just focus until chapter 8 because the syllabus only until chapter 8, not chapter 13. Okay. As I mentioned, if let's say they cover until chapter 13, right? I would say you will have a big headache issue. Okay, because let's say the more chapter we cover, right, the more tendency the student will write out topic because they normally confuse each other topic. Okay, for example, in chapter 1 to 3, right, I would say the tendency of writing out topic is quite high already. So not to mention until chapter 13. Okay, so you can always refer to this book for more elaboration. Okay, so make sure you make good use of this one. Okay. So if let's say no question, right, then we will end our class here. Okay, so we will see.
Nice.
Okay, we will meet again on next week Monday. So next week Monday, right, make sure you enter before 1 o'clock because we will start at 1:05 p.m. So next Monday we will cover chapter 2. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then I will